My skin is black. My body is burned. I survived Babylon. I am a daughter of Zion. Daughters of Zion like diamonds.
Shalom. Praise the Higher Bahashem Yashaya. Hello? I pray you can hear me. I got on these headphones, I'm not sure. But I give all glory, honor, and praise to AHAYAH'S, Bahashem Yashaya, Qadash, Rawach. Shalom. Bless you, brothers and sisters. I pray all is well. Okay, praise the higher. Bahashem Yashaya, Qadash, Rawach. I'm hoping you can see me. Oh. Give me 1 second. Shalom, praise Ahaya. This is Sister Kana here, and welcome to AHAYAH'S Bible Book Club. And today, thank you for joining me. Thank you for coming. I give all glory, honor, and praise to AHAYAH, AHAYAH, Bahashem Yashaya, Qadash, Rawach. Bless you, brothers and sisters, and it's so good to see you guys. So today we're going to go into the Bible and go into Simon Peter, Apostle Simon Peter, and we're just going to go into a few attributes of Simon and just, give some information on him in opposed to Yashaya and his dealing and interactions and, just some things, not too much, but just to cover it. Okay, I thought maybe this time I'll do things a little different. And, here I got on this page is I made some squares instead of the circles because, you write in blocks. So I thought this was better. So I tried this and I'm going to see how this works for me. But, we're going to use this as our template for our precept upon precepts. Okay. And for those who are new, who are just, coming to my channel, just to give you a synopsis, we are AHAYAH'S Bible Book Club and journaling. And we want to add journaling because the Bible tells us to write things down and make it plain. So, and that comes from Habakkuk 2:2. Write things down and make it plain. Now, I will read those scriptures shortly, but first, before we start, I want to go into the Lord's Prayer in ancient Phoenician Hebrew. So please, sisters, I pray that you have your head covered. And if there are any gentlemen, any brothers, please uncover your head as the scriptures say. I'm going to share with you my screen, which will show the ancient Phoenician Hebrew, the Lord's Prayer in ancient Phoenician Hebrew. And you can read along or learn to read along. If you're interested in learning the ancient Phoenician Hebrew, I can send you this document where you can practice. Every time you pray, you get to see, read these words and learn them. Okay, so here we go. Abanawa, Shabbat Shemayim, Qadash, Haya, Sham Ka Ahaya. Malak with Ka, Daba'a Batazawan Ka, Haya, Aisha, Ba'a Bataza, Kawa Haya Bashamayim. Nathan Lanawa Lakam Ka Yawam, Wasalak Nawa, Hababaf Nawa, Kasalak Nawa, Hababaf Yanawa, Wala Atabianawa, Bena Sayuama Ba, Hawashanawa. May I Rai Kayalaka, Hamalakwa, Waha ala Wahata Pa'arat. La awalamyam amen. All glory and praise to your holy name, AHAYAH, Bahashem Yashaya, Qadash, Rawach. And AHAYAH, we ask that you open up our understanding as we go forth into your word. We ask that you bless us and keep us and, ask that we be able to receive this information with the love and kindness that you have given it to us. and that we be able to retain it in, righteously and according to your will. So, and we're going to all say amen. Okay, so that's the Lord's Prayer in ancient Phoenician Hebrew. Hold on. And praise AHAYAH for that. Now, I hope I'm not giving an echo or anything like that, because I can't really tell. If you can hear me clearly, if you can let me know, that'd be a blessing. Okay, so now let me just go quickly to Habakkuk 2 and read some of these scriptures pertaining to this broadcast. Sorry, guys, I'm a little tongue-tied. We are doing the Highest Bible Book Club and journaling, and the scriptures tell us to write things down and make it plain. And I'm going to give you those. If you can turn to Habakkuk 2 and 2. Hold on. Habakkuk 2 and 2. I'll read that. And a couple of other scriptures would clearly tell us to write things down. And it's important to write things down because that's how you remember things. And we want to retain these scriptures. We want to be able to apply them to our lives, everyday lives. And no better way than to write them down, precept upon precept, line upon line, here a little, there a little, like the scriptures instruct us to do. So quickly, I'm going to read Habakkuk 2 and 2, and it says, "And AHAYAH answered me and said, write the vision and make it plain upon tables, that he may run that readeth it." Praise AHAYAH. So basically, the Most High is just telling us to write things down in case someone else that comes along and find the information, that they can, hurry up and get involved as well and get this information, the gospel of Yashaya and the coming of Yashaya. We are in that time. And it said in 3, it says, "For the vision is yet for an appointed time, but at the end it shall speak and not lie. Though it tarry, wait for it, because it will surely come. It will not tarry." Praise AHAYAH. Okay, the next scripture we're going to go into is Deuteronomy 27 and 8. And this also gives you an idea of how the Most High wants us to retain the information that he has given to us. So that's Deuteronomy 27, and that's verse 8, chapter 27, verse 8. And it says, "And thou shalt write upon the stones all the words of this law very plainly." So again, we're being instructed to write things down and make it plain. Praise Yashaya. And quickly, hold on. We can go to Deuteronomy 27 and 3, just go up to the 3rd verse, and it says, "And thou shalt write upon them all the words of this law when thou art passed over, that thou mayest go in unto the land which AHAYAH thy power giveth thee, a land that floweth with milk and honey, as the AHAYAH your power of thy fathers has promised." So again, he's instructing Moses and Joshua to write things down, write everything down, the law, write it down. Praise AHAYAH. We're going to go to Deuteronomy 31 and 19. Okay, again, just getting information on how AHAYAH instructs us to go into his word, because this book is our schoolmaster. Praise AHAYAH B'Shem Yashaya. Okay, so 31 and 19, Deuteronomy, and it says, hold on. It says, "Now therefore write ye this song for you, and teach it to the children of Israel. Put it in thy mouths, that this song may be as a witness for me against the children of Israel." So here, the Most High is instructing, again, Moses to teach the children of Israel a song. So even through song, we get precepts, and even through song, we get understanding. So it's not always, and we know that David and Solomon wrote many songs in Psalms and in Ecclesiastics and, Proverbs. So also using music and words and lyrics to, teach us and teach our children and teach, whoever, you may be dealing with. It's not only through the word, but it's also through song. So praise Ahaya and praise. Isaiah 8:1 is Isaiah 8:1. And this is just telling us how the Most High tell us to grab hold to his word to get understanding, that we may, it says that we may retain the information that's given in this book, and that we may be able to apply it to our everyday lives, not just, saying a verse here and remembering it. It's good to remember the verses. That's why I do it as well, so I can remember them, but also to apply them to your life. What you are reading and taking into your spirit, it should show on your outward as well. So we have to remember those things, in our deeds and how we do things. We have to, constantly be in this word so that it can become us and be part of us, because Ahaya wants us to be a holy people. Okay, so Isaiah 8:1 says, moreover, Ahaya saith unto me, take thee a great roll and write it with a man's pen concerning Mahashala Hashbas. Okay, so he was just given instruction on what to do, and take a pen and a great roll and write things down. Write it down, make it plain. Okay, and let me see one more. Jeremiah 36, or maybe one or two more, but no, one more. Jeremiah 36:2. Jeremiah 36:2. I don't mean to make this too long, but I think it's important to give these scriptures, because people, will wonder why you do things. Like, why would I make this book, put pictures in it and, add things, because this helps me retain the information that the Most High put forth in his word, writing down scriptures, making posters of the scriptures so that, it can stick in your mind daily. So 36:2, let's go. It says, for then the king of Babylon army besieged Jerusalem, and Jeremiah the prophet was shut up in the court of the prison, which was in the king of Judah's house. For Zedekiah, king of Judah, had shut him up, saying, wherefore doest thou prophesy and say, thus saith Ahaya, behold, I will give this city into the hand of the king of Babylon, and he shall take it. Okay, wait, hold on. Did I do the right one? Oh, no, I'm reading the wrong one. Sorry, guys. 36:2. I'm reading the wrong one. My bad. 36:2, it says, Jeremiah 36:2. It says, take thee a roll of a book, write therein all the words that I have spoken unto thee against Israel, and against Judah, and against all the nations, for the day I spake unto thee from the days of Josiah, even unto this day. So again, it's just another example of the Most High telling one of his prophets to write things down and make it plain. And so that's the premise of the AHAYAH'S Bible Book Club, just learning how to write things down, not just, reading. And for me, this works for me, and I hope it works for you as well, to train yourself to start to put pen to paper. And, because my old Bible, I try to tell a story. I used to just put things on the side, make little quick notes, things like that. But as, time went on, I started to see the importance of really writing things down, making notes, going to the information about the prophets. When did they reign, and how old were they, and, who were they under, and how did they learn, and what were some of the lessons that was given to these prophets. So, which brings me to today, we are going into Simon Peter, who was an apostle of Yashaya, Christ our Savior. And he played a very, very important role in, the walk with Christ, because most Yashaya told Peter that he will build his church upon him, that he was actually a rock. And his name Peter, when he renamed Peter, he named him Peter because it means rock. And that is very important, to know these things. And Christ had already determined when he met Peter that what his significance was going to be. Significance, in his whole walk. So I just want to read out some things about Peter. And you can start to, hold on, write things down in your books. Use this time to write things down. Okay, and this is what I put together, my journaling book. And I even have, like, say, this section here, if you can see it. Let me just check if you can see, because I will do a section on the women of the Bible. Right now, I'm just concentrating on the men, and I'm going through, different prophets, and we've done a lot so far, which I'm very happy that we have gone through a lot of books. And I know that some people would like to just jump into some of the other books, like Jubilees and the Patriarchs. We will be getting into all of that. This is going to be a whole long journey of study, constant, So far, let me just go there. Let me just say, okay, so we're even going to do a segment where we go into the women of the Bible. So I made a whole section for the daughters of Zion, and we will be going into these as well. But even, before we get to that, I just wanted to just get through most of the Bible, because what I find is that a lot of people, they want to go into the other books. They want to go into the Dead Sea Scrolls. They want to go to Jubilees. They want to go into Jasher, but they don't even have the Bible down pat, and it's important to go into the Bible and read the first, the book that was intended. And not saying that the other books weren't, but you have to be able to go into the milk before you go into the meat. And, it depends on where you are in your study. I get that. Some people have been studying the Bible for a long time, but I just think it's necessary in the study to start at the beginning, at the basics. So here was the reading goals, and all these colors represent the books that we went into. So in this last book here, I said for the year, I would like to have done at least 44 books. You know that there's about 66 books in the Bible. So we would have done most of the Bible. And so I wanted to get through that. And we don't even have that much further to go, actually, a couple of more rows, and we will be complete. So we've done very well. We already did 24 books so far. And that's really going into different prophets. I use the prophets to determine the book that we go to. So, and I'll show you that. So today, let me just write in Simon Peter. Okay. Just so I won't forget. Okay. Simon Peter. Okay, and I'm going to make that color. I'm going to yellow. Okay. And that is 25. So this is actually the 25th book that we have gone into, which is great. Praise the highest. Okay, so I'm going to put that down here. So this is Simon. I just put Simon. So we're going to Simon, and then we're going to do this one. Let's do a few, get them out of the way. Okay. Simon Peter. And praise AHAYAH. So this is already done. Okay. And I'll put the names when we get to that. So look, we're on the 25th book that we've gone into so far, which is a lot, guys. And here I put the daily reads. So I've been moving around a lot, so I have to add some more. We are on the first day of the 4th month here. So this is a rabbi. Okay. A rabbi. Is this the 4th month here? This is actually the 2nd month. But I may be going one. I guess I'm here. So let me cross that off. The first day. Okay, so praise the highest. So let me go back. Now, so we're going to go into Simon Peter. And I'm going to do things a little differently. Just so I won't be taking so long. Okay, so I'm going to first give you the Hebrew name. What does Simon mean in Hebrew? Simon was given the name from the Hebrew Simon, which means listen or hearing. And is also a classical Greek name deriving from an adjective meaning flat-nosed. In the 1st century AD, Simon was the most popular male name for Jews in Roman Judea. Okay, and it says, a question of why was Peter so special to Yashaya? It was Peter who possessed remarkable insight and displayed his depth of faith in the confession of Yashaya as the son of AHAYAH. So when we go into Matthew 16, Mark 8, Luke 9 and 20, and it was Peter who rebuked and in turn was rebuked by Yashaya when the master prophesied that he would suffer and die. So yeah, that's when he told Peter, get thee behind me, Satan, because Peter didn't, was speaking against what had to happen to Yashaya. Okay, so I just want to go into some scriptures that are pertaining to Peter or Simon. Okay, so let me just go into let me give you a few things that happened with Peter. Peter was one of the closest disciples to Yashaya. Okay, and his original name was Simon, and then Christ renamed him. So it says before he became known as Peter, he was called Simon, the son of Jonah or John. Yashaya gave him the name Peter or Cephas in Aramaic, meaning rock. This new name represented the solid foundation of faith that Peter would embody and build in others. Okay? And it says, and I tell you that you are Peter, and on this rock I will build my church, and the gates of Hades will not overturn it. That's Matthew 16 and 18. So I'm going to use these scriptures to put in these boxes, and these will give the attributes of Simon Peter. So this is going to be the first box that I'm going to fill. And I'm going to put Matthew 16 on this one, okay? And it just shows Yashaya naming Peter Simon and renaming him to Peter. And that's definitely something that we should acknowledge, how Christ renamed him. Okay, hold on. So we're going to turn, if you want to turn to Matthew 16, and I will add, give me 1 second, as you get your journaling together. Let me get a Bible. So we're going to go down. Hold on. Okay. Okay, hold on, guys. So I'm just going to skip around. So we're going to read the whole chapter 16 and just jot down some of the pertinent information that we want to put in this first box. Okay, give me 1 second. So you can see this right on camera. This is going to be the first box here, and this is Matthew 16. So I'm going to write that in, and all these scriptures will be pertaining to Simon Peter. 16. But that particular scripture was 16 and that was 16 and 18. So that's gonna be the one that we write down. Okay, but we're gonna listen to the whole Matthew 16 so that we could put everything in perspective. So I'm gonna share my screen with you. Okay, and you can open your Bibles or you can read along. You should be able to see this as well. But you have to make your screen really big. Okay, here we go. It might start at 15, but we'll go into 16.
Children. And he sent away the multitude and took ship and came into the coasts of Magdala. Chapter 16. The Pharisees also with the Sadducees came, and tempting desired him that he would show them a sign from heaven. He answered and said unto them, When it is evening, ye say, It will be fair weather, for the sky is red. And in the morning, It will be foul weather today, for the sky is red and lowering. O ye hypocrites, ye can discern the face of the sky, but can ye not discern the signs of the times? A wicked and adulterous generation seeketh after a sign, and there shall no sign be given unto it, but the sign of the prophet Jonas. And he left them and departed. And when his disciples were come to the other side, they had forgotten to take bread.
Okay, I just need to stop at 1 second. I think that's very important, even though this is more or less to the end time prophecy that we are with now. Yashaya was saying how they seeketh a sign. It's a wicked generation because we seeketh a sign, and no sign will be given unto us beside the sign of Jonah. And what Jonah did, he had to go prophesy on Nineveh. So the fact that we see our brothers standing up and prophesying in this end time is our sign that Yashaya is coming, and we are in the times of Yashaya. And so I just wanted to bring note to that, because a lot of people, are still wondering and questioning because they don't have the spirit of discernment. They can't see how close we are, and they still don't even understand, as someone like me who I'm always talking about coming out of Babylon, get out, get out, get out. And yet people are still sitting in Babylon, not really discerning the times and the detriment to when Christ warned us about. So I just wanted to stop there just to give that note that we are to come out of Babylon, brothers and sisters, and Jordan is the safe place. The Christ told us that he would protect those found within his borders, and Jordan is within the borders. Okay, so hold on. Maybe, someone needed to hear that. Praise Ahaya, Bahashim Yashaya.
Jesus said unto them, Take heed and beware of the leaven of the Pharisees and of the Sadducees. And they reasoned among themselves, saying, It is because we have taken no bread. Which when Jesus perceived, he said unto them, O ye of little faith, why reason ye among yourselves, because ye have brought no bread? Do ye not yet understand, neither remember the 5 loaves of the 5,000, and how many baskets ye took up? Neither the 7 loaves of the 4,000, and how many baskets ye took up? How is it that ye do not...
Hold on. So I want to point this out as well, that Yashaya was always constantly reprimanding them, because even though now these were the apostles, these were the men that he appointed to follow him and had strong belief. But even them, they still seemed he always had to be reminding them about the miracles they saw, they witnessed these miracles, what he was there for, what he was doing, why he come, he was always reminding them because of the lack of understanding or the lack of faith. And some of them was kind of like double-minded as as we go into these stories. So I just want to point that out, that even Yashaya was always warning the apostles. And like when he told Peter, get ye behind me, Satan, when Peter didn't want him to talk about, being crucified, that he wanted to try to stop it if possible. And Christ had to say, get ye behind me, Satan, because he didn't understand what he was, speaking against. He was actually speaking against what the Most High had ordained to have to happen, so that we as a people can come back to the Most High. So I'm just saying, I just want to point it out that the lack of belief, the lack of faith sometimes, even though he did call Peter the rock, he did have faith and he was steadfast in, the understanding. But there was a lot of times when Yashaya would rebuke them and talk about their lack of faith and why they didn't believe and, a lot of those things. So just take note of that, because even today, as a people, there's so much lack of faith, lack of understanding, and people being so unsure of how much they can trust Ahaya, how much they can really believe, and how much, their walk depends on it. I've talked to a lot of people and I meet a lot of people, and I noticed that there is this lack of faith and lack of understanding. People are running all over the place, going back and forth. And, I just spoke to someone who they went to Africa and they're coming back, and it's just our people are really all over the place because they're not really grounded in this understanding and in this truth and what the Most High is actually saying. And that's just the bottom line. So you really have to, study to show yourself approved, because you may actually run across these type of people and, put your trust in these type of people thinking that they standing on what they believe, and then come to find out that their faith is really shaken and that they don't really know what they believe, So you have to be, be a rock, brothers and sisters. You have to be your own rock in this truth and have, clear understanding of what you're doing and what you're standing for, and who you're serving and why you're serving, be steadfast and, to get this understanding, because it's going to be very, very important, especially as we draw to the end. And a lot of people start, dropping in faith and, falling away, and, these type of things start to happen. Praise the higher. Okay, so I just wanted to add that in. Give me a second. Here we go.
Understand that I spake it not to you concerning bread, that ye should beware of the leaven of the Pharisees and of the Sadducees. Then understood they how that he bade them not beware of the leaven of bread, but of the doctrine of the Pharisees and of the Sadducees. When Jesus came into the coasts of Caesarea Philippi, he asked his disciples, saying, Whom do men say that I, the Son of Man, am? And they said, Some say that thou art John the Baptist, some Elias, and others Jeremiah, or one of the prophets.
لأمي هدية أجر يدوم عايدها وسعدها مع هداية الخير بخصم 15% على تنفيذ حفر الآبار في أكثر.
He saith unto them, But whom say ye that I am? And Simon Peter answered and said, Thou art the Christ, the Son of the living God. And Jesus answered and said unto him, Blessed art thou, Simon Bar-Jonah, for flesh and blood hath not revealed it unto thee, but my Father which is in heaven. And I say also unto thee that thou art Peter, and upon this rock I will build my church, and the gates of hell shall not prevail against it. And I will give unto thee the keys of the kingdom of heaven. And whatsoever thou shalt bind on earth shall be bound in heaven, and whatsoever thou shalt loose on earth shall be loosed in heaven. Then charged he his disciples that they should tell no man that he was Jesus the Christ. From that time forth began Jesus to show unto his disciples how that he must go unto Jerusalem and suffer many things of the elders and.
So I just wanted to stop right there. That's shown because here it showed the faith of Simon Peter and how he knew, and he said it must have come from a higher, this understanding, because it was not revealed. Simon knew, or Peter knew, that who Yashaya was in the spirit, that he was the son, and he was coming as the son of Ahaya, Bahashim Yashaya. So that's showed amazing faith. Praise Ahaya, and that's how why Yashaya changed his name, and he understood, that Peter knew who he was and had Ahaya, the spirit of Ahaya on him. So praise Ahaya. So let's keep going.
Chief priests and scribes, and be killed, raised again the third day. Then Peter took him and began to rebuke him, saying, Be it far from thee, Lord, this shall not be unto thee.
So here's another instance. I have to bring that out because now Yashaya was telling him that he must die and be raised again. And then here is Simon Peter rebuking Yashaya and telling him, no, that is not to happen. So I can't. Hey, Shalom, sis. I don't understand your message. Can you hear me? Fear. I can't understand you. But Shalom, sis, good to see you. Praise Ahaya. Okay, so I just want to bring that out. That Simon, Christ had to rebuke Simon for speaking against what the Most High had already ordained to have to happen. And, that goes to show even with us that we will sometimes be speaking against what the Most High is doing because we had lack understanding, we lack discernment, we not connecting in the spirit. So we will actually be speaking against what the Most High have ordained or, to happen, but just because we not in tune or in line. So here's a great example of that where Peter not understanding why Yashaya was even walking the earth in his presence, and he was about to speak against what the Most High had in store for Yashaya, and Yashaya had to rebuke him. So continue listening.
But he turned and said unto Peter, Get thee behind me, Satan. Thou art an offense unto me. For thou savorest not the things that be of God, but those that be of men.
Okay, so just in one breath where he was praising Peter and telling him, you are my rock. And then, it turns around, he had to rebuke him because, he was actually fearful Yashaya was talking about being resurrected, putting to death and being resurrected. And he had to rebuke Peter for not really understanding his mission of why he came and why he had to be sacrificed. So even in our own lives, and I just want to be trying to apply these things to our lives. So in our own lives, we may be speaking against what the Most High have intended because of our lack of understanding or lack of discernment or the lack of Holy Spirit being with us. You understand? Being, operating more in the flesh than in the spirit. So, it's important to, sometimes not saying anything at all if we don't quite understand. And that can easily happen to any one of us, really being in a situation and you not really understanding the significance or what Ahaya is doing, or the spirit of Yashaya is doing. You will actually be speaking against the Most High, right? So hold on, let's continue.
Then said Jesus unto his disciples, If any man will come after me, let him deny himself and take up his cross and follow me. For whosoever will save his life shall lose it. And whosoever will lose his life for my sake shall find it.
And that's a very good scripture. And it's a point that Yashaya was saying, because he knew he had to die. He knew that in order for him to complete the mission for the children of Israel to come back to the Father, he had to die. And he was willing to die. And he was letting anybody else know, for this kingdom, you're going to have to give up your life. And maybe not unto death like Christ, but you're going to have to walk away from everything that you know and love for him, for his sake. And this is what the requirement is. And this is why so many people actually are going to fail this test that we are going through, because it's, going through, getting to this kingdom is all about a series of tests. And are we going to pass the test? Christ was being tested. He walked this earth as a man, and he was being tempted the whole way. And he had to pass the test to get. And that's why when he was on the cross, he said, he gave up the ghost and said, it's finished. He did it. He knew that he had completed all the tests. He was tested just like any other man. He had to be tested. And the same thing with us as brothers and sisters. Please, if y'all don't understand or hear anything that I'm saying, please know that this journey that we are on to get to this kingdom, to receive the salvation, is a test. These are series of tests. And you are being tested, whether you really believe it or understand it, or not. And you must pass these tests, because Christ had to go through these tests. And he passed. And that's why he is found blameless. He is the Lamb, because he did not waver. And so our walk is just like his walk. We are no better than our master. You are being tested. And whether you decide to walk out, pick up your cross and walk up out of Babylon, it's going to determine whether you go to the next phase of this on the journey to the kingdom. And a lot of people don't seem to grasp that. They think, just like the Pharisees thought, because they were of the bloodline of the Jew, that it's a shoo-in for them to make it in. But that is not the case. And Christ is the example. He was tested the whole way, all the way up into the cross. And so we are tested all the way up into the cross, brothers and sisters. Pick up your cross and follow Yashaya. Get out of Babylon. Don't wait. Don't hesitate. Don't linger on like Lot's wife and look back and all that stuff. Don't do it, because you too are in the same predicament as Christ. You must pass the test, and know that in every situation, all the way up. Even when you think of the 5 wise virgins and those who ran out of oil, that was their test. Were they going to run back and try and go and then the brides the groom came because they failed. They failed the test. So please understand what this is all about, this whole journey to, the kingdom, to the salvation. We must be found worthy. Oh, no one is saved until the end. We must be found worthy. And through the series of tests that we go through, just like Yashaya, is going to determine whether we make it. Praise AHAYAH.
For what is a man profited if he shall gain the whole world and lose his own soul? Or what shall a man give in exchange for his soul? For the Son of Man shall come in the glory of his Father with his angels, and then he shall reward every man according to his works.
Mm-hmm.
Verily I say unto you, there be some standing here which shall not taste of death till they see the Son of Man coming in his kingdom.
Okay, and that's because of the test. Some will make it through. Some will not taste death because they endured to the end. And every obstacle that they had to endure, they got over it and they passed.
Chapter 17.
Okay, so I'm going to stop there. So that's what my first block is in the book. Here, let me show you so you know. Here. So that's Matthew. We really focus, and it was a chapter of Matthew, but we're going to concentrate on 18, where Christ named Simon Peter. And he said this, because you're going to be the rock in the church of the church. Hold on. And I'll read that again, just so you know. With Matthew 16 and 18, and he said, also unto thee, that thou art Peter, and upon this rock I will build my church, and the gates of hell shall not prevail against it. Praise the highest. So I'm going to write that down. That's for Matthew. He said, we'll build my church, and the gates of hell will not prevail. Okay, so then let's go to the next. We're going to be jumping around because Peter is, in several parts of the book. And another attribute was Peter was a fisherman. And Peter, by trade, before Yashaya called him to be a fisher of men, his life as a fisherman symbolized humility and hard work, values that he would later apply to his ministry. Fishing was not an easy occupation. It required patience, strength, perseverance, qualities Peter would use as a disciple. Okay, so that's some of the attributes. Now, let me just show you that. So along with, in this part of the book here, if you can see this, I also have a page for each prophet that we go into. And let me just show you this. Okay, so you can see it here. I'll put it on the big screen here. Okay, here. So here, this is where we're writing right now. And back here, I'm going to show you is where I put the description. Okay, as you see, these are the ones that we went through. Samson, Micah, Jonah, Isaiah, Mark. This one I didn't finish, and I have to do Thomas, Elisha. I got to do it, and now we're on. So I'm behind, guys. This is Simon. So we're going to put Simon. Now we're going to put his attributes. And like we said, he was a fisher by trade. His father's name was John. Where was he from? These are kind of things so that you can get to know the prophets, and you can know, who they were they married? Because Simon Peter actually was married. It doesn't give much information on his wife, but it did say that Yashaya healed his mother-in-law. So it does say that he was married. He had a mother-in-law. And but it doesn't give much more information. Like here with Jonah, it gives the time frame. He was from 800 BC to 746 BC, and his father name was Amittai. Okay, he was from the tribe of Zebulon. These are things that you wouldn't normally know. So we want to write these things down and make it plain so we can have more understanding of who our prophets were and what the books pertaining to our prophets, what is, about, like who they were talking to, the time frame, and what was the significance. So that's something that you guys might want to add to your books so that you can go back and when you study, you can get more information on each prophet in the book that you're reading, and the time frame, the history, and things like that. Okay, so I just wanted to show you that so you can, if you want to apply that as well. Okay, so we're going to go back. Here we are. So now let me look on my paper. We're going to go to the next book pertaining to Peter. Another attribute, it says that Peter had a temper. And he acted impulsively. And it says Peter's personality was known to be bold and sometimes brash. For example, he famously cut off the ear of Malchus, a servant of the high priest, in an attempt to defend Yashaya during his arrest. And that's in John 18:10. This impulsive action reflected Peter's protective love for Yashaya, though Yashaya instructed him to put away the sword. Okay, so it gives an example. One was cutting off Malchus' ear, that's John 18:10, and the other one speaking out at the transfiguration, Mark 9:5-6. Okay, so let me see the next scripture. I don't know if it's going to be that one. Let's go to Matthew 4:19. Yeah, that's going to be the best one. 4:19. Okay, and that's really just showing his occupation of Simon Peter. And we're going to just go down to a few. I only have like 7 slots. So Matthew 4:19. Let's go there. Okay, and this is when Yashaya, basically, he calls his first disciples. So let me get that and let him read it. But I'm going to probably read the whole Matthew 4. Okay, so give me 1 second. Okay, here we go.
Let this soft mineral melt in your mouth to rebuild your gums and teeth and never need a dentist again. Did you know there is a...
Hold on.
He suffered him.
Okay.
And Jesus, when he was baptized, went up straightway out of the water, and lo, the heavens were opened unto him. And he saw the
This
Spirit
is
of God
actually
descending like a dove,
3.
and light
We're going to go
upon
into
him.
4.
And lo, a voice from heaven, saying, This is my beloved Son, in whom I am well pleased. Chapter 4.
Here we go.
Then was Jesus led up of the Spirit into the wilderness to be tempted of the devil. And when he had fasted 40 days and 40 nights, he was afterward an hungered. And when the tempter came to him, he said, If thou be the Son of God, command that these stones be made bread. But he answered and said, It is written, Man shall not live by bread alone, but by every word that proceedeth out of the mouth of God. Then the devil taketh him up into the holy city, and setteth him on a pinnacle of the temple, and saith unto him, If thou be the Son of God, cast thyself down. For it is written, He shall give his angels charge concerning thee, and in their hands they shall bear thee up, lest at any time thou dash thy foot against a stone. Jesus said unto him, It is written again, Thou shalt not tempt the Lord thy God. Again the devil taketh him up into an exceeding high mountain, and showeth him all the kingdoms of the world, and the glory of them, and saith unto him, All these things will I give thee, if thou wilt fall down.
Okay, hold on
and
a
worship
minute.
me.
I want to stop there and just point that out because it shows there that Christ was tempted. Again, he was tested. And since I had just finished going into how Christ was tested, I can even go with my own testimony, guys. When I was leaving Babylon and the Most High was telling me to leave, I knew I needed to go. I knew that the Spirit was leading me to leave Babylon. And I'm so thankful that I followed, and I had no questions but to leave. And even though, I was questioning Most High, like, why me? I didn't understand why me being a woman, I had to go. And I told this story a lot, but also I wanted to say that I was offered a deal. I was offered, now I'm a musician, I'm a singer, and I've been singing all my life, and I've had many record deals in my life. But this particular time, right before when the Most High was waking me up, I got offered $1 million for a record distribution deal of an album that I had put together, and I was shopping it around. I got a deal. This woman offered me a distribution deal for $1 million for my album. And I was amazed. I was excited. I wanted it so bad. I started fasting and praying to get it. I was asking the Most High, please, bless me with this. So I'm just saying to say it was a huge test. And I thank the Most High that that wasn't enough to hold me. I still walked out of Babylon, and I had that deal on the table when I walked out. And that was a huge test for me. And I was still trying, like I knew I had to go, and I knew I was going. But I was saying to myself, when I talked to them, I told them I was just taking the trip and that I was going to come back because I wanted to try to keep the deal on the table. But once I started telling them that I was leaving, they felt it was a little shaky. So, I'm just letting you know the type of test, because I talk to a lot of people. And a lot of people will tell me things like, oh, I just got offered a job. It's a good job. It's a good paying job. A lot of these kind of temptations will come up as you get closer to when you are supposed to leave. Or, things will start happening in your personal life, or, something or someone will come up out of the woodworks and will, try to change the trajectory of where you're supposed to go spiritually, for the Most High. So you have to really be careful of these tests, because like I was saying, what Yashaya went through, we will go through the same things. We are no greater than our master. So as we go into these scriptures and we hear all the temptations, here we're talking about Christ being tempted by Satan. He took him on the highest mountain and to show him the world, and told him that I will give you all of this if you bow down and worship me. Christ was being tempted. It was a huge temptation, for Christ, even though, Christ wasn't considering it. But, here you have Satan offering him the world so that, to try to take him off his path. And now we know that Christ turned it down, but Satan was obviously offered the same situation, and he took it. And so that's why now he is ruling over the earth right now, because he took that offer that Christ, refused. Praise AHAYAH'S Yashaya. Our King refused it, because he will reign in our kingdom to come, in his kingdom to come. Praise AHAYAH. But I just wanted to point this out about the temptation, about being tested. This walk is nothing but a test, and you have to, be discerning and understand these tests. so that you can get through it. Praise AHAYAH. Hold on. So let's continue.
Then saith Jesus unto him, Get thee hence, Satan, for it is written, Thou shalt worship the Lord thy God, and him only
Praise
shalt thou
AHAYAH.
serve.
Mm-hmm.
Then the devil leaveth him, and behold, angels came and ministered unto him.
Praise AHAYAH.
Now when Jesus had heard that John was cast into prison, he departed into Galilee, and leaving Nazareth, he came and dwelt in Capernaum, which is upon the sea coast in the borders of Zebulun and Nephthalim, that it might be fulfilled which was spoken by Isaiah the prophet, saying, The land of Zebulun and the land of Nephthalim by the way of the sea, beyond Jordan, Galilee of the Gentiles. The people which sat in darkness saw great light, and to them which sat in the region and shadow of death, light is sprung up.
Take a right hand, shake it out.
Okay.
How many people here want to learn faster? How many people want to remember more?
From that time Jesus began to preach and to say, Repent, for the kingdom of heaven is at hand. And Jesus, walking by the Sea of Galilee, saw two brethren, Simon called Peter, and Andrew his brother.
Okay, so this is the verse we want to concentrate on. Yashaya called his first disciple, and which was Simon and his brother. And I just want to put this down. This is Matthew 4, and that is 18 to 21. And these are the scriptures we want to focus on about Simon Peter, how he was first, called by Yashaya, him and his brother. Or maybe it was his brother first. Andrew, but they were together. So, but I think Andrew saw him when John the Baptist was on the scene as well. And John the Baptist pointed out Christ to Andrew, and Andrew followed Christ, and then he brought his brother. I think that's how it went. Hold on. But let me just finish.
Casting a net into the sea, for they were fishers. And he saith unto them, Follow me, and I will make you fishers of men. And they straightway left their nets and followed him. And going on from thence he saw other two brethren, James the son of Zebedee, and John his brother, in a ship with Zebedee their father, mending their nets. And he called them. And they immediately left the ship and their father, and followed him. And Jesus went about all Galilee, teaching in their synagogues, and preaching the gospel of the kingdom, and healing all manner of sickness and all manner of disease among the people. And his fame went throughout all Syria. And they brought unto him all sick people that were taken with divers diseases and torments, and those which were possessed with devils, and those which were lunatic, and those that had the palsy. And he healed them. And there followed him great multitudes of people from Galilee, and from Decapolis, and from Jerusalem, and from Judea, and from beyond Jordan.
Here
Chapter
we go,
5.
Jordan. Okay,
And
so
see-
we're going to leave it there, and we're going to go to the next scripture pertaining to Peter. Okay? Hold on. So let's look at now, we're going to go to Matthew 17, when it just shows that Simon Peter was, one of the closest disciples to Yashaya, his inner circle. So we're going to go to Matthew 17, 1 through 9. Okay, hold on. Okay. 17, 1 through 9. Okay. It's a little bit of 16. So get ready. Oh, here we go. Let me see.
And whosoever will lose his life for my sake shall find it. For what is a man profited if he shall gain the whole world and lose his own soul? Or what shall a man give in exchange for his soul? For the Son of Man shall come in the glory of his Father with his angels, and then he shall reward every man according to his works. Verily I say unto you, there be some standing here which shall not taste of death till they see the Son of Man coming in his kingdom. Chapter 17. And after 6 days Jesus taketh Peter, James, and John his brother, and bringeth them up into an high mountain apart, and was transfigured before them. And his face did shine as the sun, and his raiment was white as the light. And behold, there appeared unto them Moses and Elias talking with him. Then answered Peter, and said unto Jesus, Lord, it is good for us to be here. If thou wilt.
Hold on.
Yin and yang, like day.
Let us make here 3 tabernacles, one for thee, and one for Moses, and one for Elias. While he yet spake, behold, a bright cloud overshadowed them, and behold, a voice out of the cloud, which said, This is my beloved Son, in whom I am well pleased.
Okay, so again, I just want to point this out. Here it is again. Yashaya took them to a high mountain so that they can witness, his transfiguration. And here go Peter, he's trying to throw all 3 of them into the same lump. He's trying to put them all on the same, platform, like as if, their works is as great as Yashaya. And it's like the Most High AHAYAH had to intercede and let them know, like, whoa. This is my son whom I well please, because he was trying to lump Moses and Elijah all together with Christ, even though, they were there, with him. They definitely are not, on the same level as Yashaya. And the Most High had to intercede and say again, this is my son whom I well please. Let me bring that back just so you can hear that again, if I could do it right. Hold on. You got to wait for it. It's a little
the
bit.
whole world and lose his own soul. Or what shall a man give in exchange for his soul? For the Son of Man shall come in the glory of his Father with his angels, and then he shall reward every man according to his works. Verily I say unto you, there be some standing here which shall not taste of death till they see the Son of Man coming in his kingdom. Chapter 17.
Okay, here we go. Listen.
And after 6 days Jesus taketh Peter, James, and John his brother, and bringeth them up into an high mountain apart, and was transfigured before them. And his face did shine as the sun, and his raiment was white as the light. And behold, there appeared unto them Moses and Elias talking with him. Then answered Peter, and said unto Jesus, Lord, it is good for us to be here. If thou wilt, let us make here 3 tabernacles, one for thee, and one for Moses, and one for Elias. While he yet spake, behold, a bright cloud overshadowed them, and behold, a voice out of the cloud, which said, This is my beloved Son, in whom I am well pleased. Hear ye him. And when the disciples heard it, they fell on their face, and were sore afraid. And Jesus came and touched them, and said, Arise, and be not afraid. And when they had lifted up their eyes, they saw no man, save Jesus only. And as they came down from the...
Because the Most High wanted to let him know that his son stands alone. They was trying to lump them all together, like put them on the same level. And AHAYAH does not want that for his son. He is king. He will be king and he will reign.
Mountain, Jesus charged them, saying, Tell the vision to no man, until the Son of Man be risen again from the dead. And his disciples asked him, saying, Why then say the scribes that Elias must first come? And Jesus answered and said unto them, Elias truly shall first come, and restore all things. But I say unto you, that Elias is come already. And they knew him not, but have done unto him whatsoever they listed. Likewise shall also the Son of Man suffer of them. Then the disciples understood that he spake unto them of John the Baptist. And when they were come to the multitude, there came to him a certain man, kneeling down to him, and saying, Lord, have mercy on my son, for he is lunatic and sore vexed. For oft times he falleth into the fire, and oft into the water. and I brought him to thy disciples, and they could not cure him. Then Jesus answered and said, O faithless and perverse generation, how long shall I be with you? How long shall I suffer you? Bring him hither to me. And Jesus rebuked the devil, and he departed out of him, and the child was cured from that very hour. Then came the disciples to Jesus apart, and said, Why could not we cast him out? And Jesus said unto them, Because of your unbelief. For verily I say unto you, if ye have faith as a grain of mustard seed, ye shall say unto this mountain, Remove hence to yonder place, and it shall remove, and nothing shall be impossible unto you. Howbeit, this kind goeth not out but by prayer and fasting.
So I just want to point that out, how important it is for, having faith and really, standing on what you believe in, opposed to, just saying you have faith or just talking this way, but not really having faith, And this is why, faith is so important, that the Bible points this out. The faith of Abraham, the faith of Noah, the faith of David, and these prophets. And this is why his favor was on these men, because of the faith, because they believed, because they acted on what they said they believed. That takes a lot, and a lot don't do that. That's why the Most High can say that these particular men, he had favor for them, and he blessed them so much, and he counted Abraham as a friend, and as well as Noah, because of their faith. So, it's really important for us to build up your faith and be able to stand on your faith, move on your faith, and it's like Babylon promotes us not to have faith. We need so many things in order for us to follow the Most High, instead of really just believing and understanding that he's going to do exactly what he said he's going to do. But as long as we sit in Babylon and teeter-totter, the longer and most likely that you won't act on what you're supposed to believe in. This is why the scriptures talks about, they honor me with much talking, but their hearts are far from me, because a lot of people are not going to move and respond the way, they're supposed to in these end times. Just like in the times of 70 AD, when, our people, didn't listen to Christ, and when he told them that they were supposed to leave, and they stayed, and they listened to a lot of the prophets and the bishops telling them to sit still and wait for a sign and do all the things. All of that was a lack of faith, of a lack of them believing and standing on what they knew the Most High was telling them to do. But they were afraid. So, I just wanted to speak on that, because all of these things are us applying, me speaking on this stuff is applying it to our everyday life. These same things that Yashaya is pointing out to his disciples, and all what our forefathers went through, this is coming back. There's nothing new under the sun. So we're actually dealing with these same situations, actually the same spirits on our people, refusing, doubt, not really understanding, not really giving Christ the credit he deserved, like with the transfiguration, lumping him in, with everybody else, and where the Most High have to come in and say, no, this is my son, and to him I'm well pleased. And then when they look up, it's only Yashaya standing, because the lack of belief, on our people, on people really not understanding the power of Christ, the power and understanding, for Christ, and his walk and what it represents, and how it is our schoolmaster, as me pointing out, being tested the whole way. Christ was always tested. And not only was Christ being tested, he was also testing the disciples. he was constantly telling them certain things and watching them, like when they fell asleep. These were all their tests they were kind of going through. And he had to tell them, a couple of times, stay awake, watch my back, do this, do that, and a lot of times they kind of fell short, not all the time, but a lot of the times. Hold on.
And while they abode in Galilee, Jesus said unto them, The Son of Man shall be betrayed into the hands of men, and they shall kill him, and the third day he shall be raised again.
I know this sounds weird, but
Hold
this
on.
ice hack could be the solution to blurred vision, glaucoma, retinal
And they were exceeding sorry. And when they were come to Capernaum, they that received tribute money came to Peter and said, Doth not your master pay tribute? He saith, Yes. And when he was come into the house, Jesus prevented him, saying, What thinkest thou, Simon? Of whom do the kings of the earth take custom or tribute? Of their own children, or of strangers? Peter saith unto him, Of strangers. Jesus saith unto him, Then are the children free. Notwithstanding, lest we should offend them, go thou to the sea, and cast an hook, and take up the fish that first cometh up. And when thou hast opened his mouth, thou shalt find a piece of money. That take, and give unto them for me and thee. Chapter 18.
Okay, we're going to stop there. I'm just reading the whole chapter, but it's really the certain verses on Peter, Simon Peter, that I'm noting. I'm taking note. So I'm writing down Matthew 17, 1 through 9, just a synopsis of that. Okay, so the next one we'll be going to is, one second, that will be John 18 and 10. And this is just the temperament, given the attributes of Simon Peter. He's, bold, sometimes impulsive. So like when he cut off the ear, it's just showing the attributes. So again, this is where we'll be writing these things in the back about the character of Simon Peter, but also these are the scripture, pertaining to him. So John 18 and 10, let's find it. Hold on. And I'm going to change the book. 18 and 10. Give me 1 second. And we'll probably go from 9 to 11. Okay. Hold on. Okay. John 18. And we're going to go from 9 to 11. Book of John. Hold on.
What is no tau?
Hold on. Okay, we're here. Hold on. Let's go. John 18 And it's going to do a little bit of 19, but we're going to go through this whole chapter, but we're going to focus on 9 through 11.
O righteous Father, the world hath not known thee, but I have known thee, and these have known that thou hast sent me. And I have declared unto them thy name, and will declare it, that the love wherewith thou hast loved me may be in them, and I in them. Chapter 18. When Jesus had spoken these words, he went forth with his disciples over the brook Cedron, where was a garden, into the which he entered, and his disciples. And Judas also, which betrayed him, knew the place, for Jesus ofttimes resorted thither with his disciples. Judas then, having received a band of men and officers from the chief priests and Pharisees, cometh thither with lanterns and torches and weapons. Jesus therefore, knowing all things that should come upon him, went forth and said unto them, Whom seek ye? They answered him, Jesus of Nazareth. Jesus saith unto them, I am he. And Judas also, which betrayed him, stood with them. As soon then as he had said unto them, I am he, they went backward and fell to the ground. Then asked he them again, Whom seek ye? And they said, Jesus of Nazareth. Jesus answered, I have told you that I am he. If therefore ye seek me, let these go their way. That the saying might be fulfilled which he spake, Of them which thou gavest me have I lost none. Then Simon Peter, having a sword, drew it, and smote the high priest's servant, and cut off his right ear. The servant's name was Malchus. Then said Jesus unto Peter, Put up thy sword into the sheath. The cup which my Father hath given me, shall I not drink it? Then the band and the captain and the officers of the Jews took Jesus, and bound him, and led him away to Annas first, for he was father-in-law to Caiaphas, which was the high priest that same year. Now Caiaphas was he which gave counsel to the Jews that it was expedient that one man should die for the people. And Simon Peter followed Jesus, and so did another disciple. That disciple was known unto the high priest, and went in with Jesus into the palace of the high priest. But Peter stood at the door without. Then went out that other disciple, which was known unto the high priest, and spake unto her that kept the door, and brought in Peter. Then saith the damsel that kept the door unto Peter, Art not thou also one of this man's disciples? He saith, I am not. And the servants and officers stood there, who had made a fire of coals, for it was cold, and they warmed themselves. And Peter stood with them and warmed.
Okay, sorry guys, I went a little bit past that. But it's just showing how Peter denied Christ, like Yashaya said he would. Hold on, let me start back here. Hold on.
If therefore ye seek me, let these go their way. That the saying might be fulfilled which he spake, Of them which thou gavest me have I lost none.
Oh, hold on.
Then Simon Peter had... Judas then, having received a band of men and officers from the chief priests and Pharisees, cometh thither with lanterns and torches and weapons. Jesus therefore, knowing all things that should come upon him, went forth and said unto them, Whom seek ye? They answered him, Jesus of Nazareth. Jesus saith unto them, I am he. And Judas also, which betrayed him, stood with them. As soon then as he had said unto them, I am he, they went backward and fell to the ground. Then asked he them again, Whom seek ye? And they said, Jesus of Nazareth. Jesus answered, I have told you that I am he. If therefore ye seek me, let these go their way. That the saying might be fulfilled which he spake, Of them which thou gavest me have I lost none. Then Simon Peter, having a sword, drew it, and smote the high priest's servant, and cut off his right ear. The servant's name was Malchus. Then said Jesus unto Peter, Put up thy sword into the sheath. The cup which my Father hath given me, shall I not drink it? And the band and the captain and the officers of the Jews took Jesus and bound him, and led him away to...
So this is just pointing out one of the attributes of Simon Peter, that he was impulsive and that he had the back of Yashaya. He cut off the officer's ear. Can you imagine that? You know, the police officer who came to the scene, you know, he jumped up and pulled the sword and cut off his ear. And so this is just showing you how dedicated and down for Yashaya Christ, Peter was. He was a no nonsense type of guy, and he stood 10 toes down for Christ. Okay, and but in the same sense, if when we go on a little further, Christ is going to tell him that he's gonna denounce him 3 times. So it's just this unsurety. But Christ told him that this is what he was going to do, and maybe Christ knew that he needed to do that. He needed to be able to walk away so that he can build the church, because Christ did say that, upon Peter, he was going to build his church, right? So definitely Peter had to be able to be around, to fulfill that. So hold on. I just want to finish the chapter 18 out.
Annas first, for he was father-in-law to Caiaphas, which was the high priest that same year. Now Caiaphas was he which gave counsel to the Jews that it was expedient that one man should die for the people. And Simon Peter followed Jesus, and so did another disciple. That disciple was known unto the high priest, and went in with Jesus into the palace of the high priest. But Peter stood at the door without. Then went out that other disciple, which was known unto the high priest, and spake unto her that kept the door, and brought in Peter. Then saith the damsel that kept the door unto Peter,
الجزيرة 360 بوابتك إلى عالم بلا قيود أصبحت الآن متوفرة على جميع.
Art not thou also one of this man's disciples? He saith, I am not. And the servants and officers stood there, who had made a fire of coals, for it was cold, and they warmed themselves, and Peter stood with them and warmed himself. The high priest then asked Jesus of his disciples and of his doctrine. Jesus answered him, I spake openly to the world. I ever taught in the synagogue and in the temple, whither the Jews always resort, and in secret have I said nothing. Why askest thou me? Ask them which heard me what I have said unto them. Behold, they know what I said. And when he had thus spoken, one of the officers which stood by struck Jesus with the palm of his hand, saying, Answerest thou the high priest so? Jesus answered him, If I have spoken evil, bear witness of the evil. But if well, why smitest thou me? Now Annas had sent him bound unto Caiaphas the high priest. And Simon Peter stood and warmed himself. They said therefore unto him, Art not thou also one of his disciples? He denied it, and said, I am not. One of the servants of the high priest, being his kinsman, whose ear Peter cut off, saith, Did not I see thee in the garden with him? Peter then denied again, and immediately the cock crew. Then led they Jesus from Caiaphas unto the hall of judgment, and it was early. And they themselves went not into the judgment hall, lest they should be defiled, but that they might eat the Passover. Pilate then went out unto them, and said, What accusation bring ye against this man? They answered and said unto him, If he were not a malefactor, we would not have delivered him up unto thee. Then said Pilate unto them, Take ye him, and judge him according to your law. The Jews therefore said unto him, It is not lawful for us to put any man to death, that the saying of Jesus might be fulfilled, which he spake, signifying what death he should die. Then Pilate entered into the judgment hall again, and called Jesus, and said unto him, Art thou the King of the Jews? Jesus answered him, Sayest thou this thing of thyself? Or did others tell it thee of me? Pilate answered, Am I a Jew? Thine own nation and the chief priests have delivered thee unto me. What hast thou done? Jesus answered, My kingdom is not of this world. If my kingdom were of this world, then would my servants fight, that I should not be delivered to the Jews. But now is my kingdom not from hence. Pilate therefore said unto him, Art thou a king, then? Jesus answered, Thou sayest that I am a king. To this end was I born, and for this cause came I into the world, that I should bear witness unto the truth. Every one that is of the truth heareth my voice. Pilate saith unto him, What is truth? And when he had said this, he went out again unto the Jews, and saith unto them, I find in him no fault at all. But ye have a custom, that I should release unto you one at the Passover. Will ye therefore that I release unto you the King of the Jews? Then cried they all again, saying, Not this man, but Barabbas. Now Barabbas was a robber. Chapter 19. Then Pilate therefore took Jesus and scourged him, and the soldiers platted a crown
Okay,
of
so we're going to
thorns
stop there. Okay, so I just wanted to point that out about, again, Simon Peter. He was not playing when it came to Christ. He went all out. He stood 10 toes down. He cut off the ear of the officer with the high priest. He was not playing, okay? He was willing to risk his life for Yashaya. But then on the other hand, Christ told him, you're going to deny me 3 times. And yes, he denied Christ 3 times. So that's the walk. This is just goes to show you part of this walk. Hold on. So now we're going to go to the next one. Okay. We're going to go to the next one, which will be Matthew 26. Oh, so we did that already. It says, denied Yashaya 3 times and later repented. That was Simon Peter again, but we read that in John, but it's also in Matthew 26. And no, we're going to actually put that, because this one was pertaining to him cutting off the ear. Now, also, we're going into the fact that he denied Christ 3 times. So let's put that down, Matthew 26. And that's the 34th verse. And we'll just hear Matthew's account of it. We heard John's, but we're going to quickly go into Matthew's account. Hold on. Again, we're going into the attributes of Simon Peter. So you're saying he was impulsive, you know. He stood 10 toes down for Yashaya. And he also, will go on to deny Yashaya as well. Hold on. So we're going to go Matthew 26. Hold on. Matthew 26. That's 4. Here we go. We're going to go into the whole chapter of Matthew 26, but we are going to focus on verse pertaining to Peter, Simon, 34, where he denies Yashaya. This is Matthew's account. Hold on. Okay, just quickly, just showing you again, even though they was with Christ Yashaya and they was learning under Christ Yashaya, they still wasn't discerning or understanding when he was telling them what was going to happen and what needed to take place. So again, they started to speak among themselves about this woman oiling him up, preparing for his crucifixion. Okay, so no understanding, lack of faith. Okay, hold on. Let me see. Make sure everything is right with this. Y'all could, y'all hearing this? Oh no, what is this? Oh, I got it on the wrong one. Hold on.
When Jesus understood it, he said unto them, Why trouble ye the woman? For she hath wrought a good work upon me. For ye have the poor always with you, but me ye have not always. For in that she hath poured this ointment on my body, she did it for my burial. Verily I say unto you, wheresoever this gospel shall be preached in the whole world, there shall also this that this woman hath done be told for a memorial of her. Then one of the 12, called Judas Iscariot, went unto the chief priests, and said unto them, What will ye give me, and I will deliver him unto you? And they covenanted with him for 30 pieces of silver. And from that time he sought opportunity to betray him. Now the first day of the feast of unleavened bread, the disciples came to Jesus, saying unto him, Where wilt thou that we prepare for thee to eat the Passover? And he said, Go into the city to such a man, and say unto him, The Master saith, My time is at hand. I will keep the Passover at thy house with my disciples. And the disciples did as Jesus had appointed them, and they made ready the Passover. Now when the even was come, he sat down with the 12. And as they did eat, he said, Verily I say unto you, that one of you shall betray me. And they were exceeding sorrowful, and began every one of them to say unto him, Lord, is it I? And he answered and said, He that dippeth his hand with me in the dish, the same shall betray me. The Son of Man goeth, as it is written of him. But woe unto that man by whom the Son of Man is betrayed. It had been good for that man if he had not been born. Then Judas, which betrayed him, answered and said, Master, is it I? He said unto him, Thou hast said. And as they were eating, Jesus took bread and blessed it and brake it and gave it to the disciples and said, Take, eat. This is my body. And he took the cup and gave thanks and gave it to them, saying, Drink ye all of it. For this is my blood of the New Testament, which is shed for many for the remission of sins. But I say unto you, I will not drink henceforth of this fruit of the vine until that day when I drink it new with you in my Father's kingdom. And when they had sung an hymn, they went out into the Mount of Olives. Then saith Jesus unto them, All ye shall be offended because of me this night. For it is written, I will smite the shepherd, and the sheep of the flock shall be scattered abroad. But after I am risen again, I will go before you into Galilee. Peter answered and said unto him, Though all men shall be offended because of thee, yet will I never be offended.
لأمي هدية أجر يدوم عايدها وسعدها مع هداية الخير بخصم
Jesus said unto him, Verily I say unto thee, that this night, before the cock crow, thou shalt deny me thrice. Peter said,
Okay, so this is Christ telling Simon Peter that you're going to denounce me. He was always proclaiming how much he loved Christ. So again, it just shows how, the contradiction of the disciples and how Yashaya always had to correct and pull the apostles up. So, the same for us as followers of Christ, doubting, unfaithful, lack of obedience, just all these things that we're dealing with, as we try to make it towards this kingdom. It's part of the kingdom. It's part of our test, and we have to pass in order to be found worthy. So, this is the whole point of taking these notes, understanding where you are in your walk, and just trying to purge yourself and get better and be better prepared for the coming of our Savior, because we all would like to make it into this kingdom, but there's only going to be a remnant, So our next, let's see where we are. Let me just finish this out. 26, and we're going to 35. Hold on.
said unto him, Though I should die with thee, yet will I not deny thee. Likewise also said all the disciples. Then cometh Jesus with them unto a place called Gethsemane, and saith,
So they all, not only Peter, said, I'll die for you and I'll do all these things and yada, yada, yada. All the disciples were saying the same thing. And they all left, left him. Hold on.
unto the disciples, Sit ye here, while I go and pray yonder. And he took with him Peter and the two sons of Zebedee, and began to be sorrowful and very heavy. Then saith he unto them, My soul is exceeding sorrowful, even unto death. Tarry ye here, and watch with me.
So now, here he's going and asking them, he knew that his life is at stake. He knew he's going to be sacrificed. He knows they're going to come for him to kill him because it has to be done. But he says to the disciples, please watch with me, take care because, these things, happen. He was telling them all along the way. And now listen to what happens.
Further, and fell on his face and prayed, saying, O my Father, if it be possible, let this cup pass from me. Nevertheless, not as I will, but as thou wilt.
Praise Yahweh.
And he cometh unto the disciples, and findeth them asleep, and saith unto Peter, What, could ye not watch with me 1 hour?
Now, you know how disappointed he had to be, hoping that these men would, just keep their word and do what they say they was going to do. He was saying, you couldn't even stay up for 1 hour, as he went and just wanted to pray to the Father, even though they didn't know all and understand all. He was just asking them to do small things that they couldn't even seem to fulfill for him, so he had to be so disappointed. Because even though he knew the mission, just like us, if you know that there's something you have to do, there's something you're going to go through or something like that, when you're going through it and you have to be kind of like disappointed in it, you don't expect that these are the things that you're going to have to go through. You don't expect that, people are going to disappoint you or, just like you applying for school and you taking a course, in college or something like that, and it turns out to be harder than you thought it was going to be. In your mind, you thought, I could take this quick course, pass it and get a certificate for it and But then as you're going through this course, you realize how it's so hard and, oh my gosh, am I going to even pass it? And you end up going through things that you didn't think. This is what Yashaya was going through. Dealing with the disciples, he knew he had to go through this, but he never in his mind did he think that he would, not be able to rely on them, all the stuff. And it's the same for us, brothers and sisters. We go through these same things as well. So just keep that stuff in mind.
Watch and pray that ye enter not into temptation. The spirit indeed is willing, but the flesh is weak. He went away again the second time and prayed, saying, O my Father, if this cup may not pass away from me, except I drink it, thy will be done. And he came and found them asleep again, for their eyes were heavy. And he left them and went away again, and prayed the third time, saying the same words. Then cometh he to his disciples, and saith unto them, Sleep on now, and take your rest. Behold, the hour is at hand, and the Son of Man is betrayed into the hands of sinners. Rise, let us be going. Behold, he is at hand that doth betray me. And while he yet spake, lo, Judas, one of the 12, came, and with him a great multitude with swords and staves from the chief priests and elders of the people. Now he that betrayed him gave them a sign, saying, Whomsoever I shall kiss, that same is he. Hold him fast. And forthwith he came to Jesus and said, Hail, Master, and kissed him. And Jesus said unto him, Friend, wherefore art thou come? Then came they, and laid hands on Jesus, and took him. And behold, one of them which were with Jesus stretched out his hand, and drew his sword, and struck a servant of the high priests, and smote off his ear. Then said Jesus unto him, Put up again thy sword into his place. For all they that take the sword shall perish with the sword.
That was Simon Peter again. That was Simon Peter again. That's the same account. Okay, so I mean it's almost finished. Let's just
Thinkest
finish
thou
it
that
out.
I cannot now pray to my Father, and he shall presently give me more than 12 legions of angels?
Mm,
But how then shall the scriptures be fulfilled, that thus it must be?
praise the higher.
In that same hour said Jesus to the multitudes, Are ye come out as against a thief, with swords and staves for to take me? I sat daily with you teaching in the temple, and ye laid no hold on me. But all this was done, that the scriptures of the prophets might be fulfilled. Then all the disciples forsook him and fled. And they that had laid hold on Jesus led him away to Caiaphas the high priest, where the scribes and the elders were assembled. But Peter followed him afar off unto the high priest's palace, and went in and sat with the servants to see the end. Now the chief priests and elders and all the council sought false witness against Jesus to put him to death, but found none. Yea, though many false witnesses came, yet found they none. At the last came 2 false witnesses, and said, This fellow said, I am able to destroy the temple of God and build it in 3 days. And the high priest arose and said unto him, Answerest thou nothing? What is it which these witness against thee? But Jesus held his peace. And the high priest answered and said unto him, I adjure thee by the living God that thou tell us whether thou be the Christ, the Son of God. Jesus saith unto him, Thou hast said. Nevertheless, I say unto you, hereafter shall ye see the Son of Man sitting on the right hand of power, and coming in the clouds of heaven. Then the high priest rent his clothes, saying, He hath spoken blasphemy. What further need have we of witnesses? Behold, now ye have heard his blasphemy. What think ye? They answered and said, He is guilty of death. Then did they spit in his face, and buffeted him. And others smote him with the palms of their hands, saying, Prophesy unto us, thou Christ, who is he that smote thee? Now Peter sat without in the palace, and a damsel came unto him, saying, Thou also wast with Jesus of Galilee. But he denied before them all, saying, I know not what thou sayest. And when he was gone out into the porch, another maid saw him, and said unto them that were there, This fellow was also with Jesus of Nazareth. And again he denied with an oath, I do not know the man. And after a while came unto him they that stood by, and said to Peter, Surely thou also art one of them, for thy speech bewrayeth thee. Then began he to curse and to swear, saying, I know not the man. And immediately the cock crew.
Mm. Can you imagine
Peter
how he felt?
remembered the word of Jesus, which said unto him, Before the cock crow thou shalt deny me thrice. And he went out and wept bitterly. Chapter 27.
Okay, we're
When
gonna
the
stop
morning was come,
there.
all the chief priests and elders of the people took counsel against Jesus to put him to death.
Okay,
And
so
when they
we're
had
gonna
found him,
stop there, and we're gonna go to the next one, which is John 20. Okay, and hold on. Hold on. We're gonna go to John 20, and this is about Simon Peter, and it's given the first to enter in the when Christ resurrected, Simon was the first one to enter the tomb to see his body at the tomb. Hold on. John 20, and here we go. Okay, so here it's just really acknowledging that Simon Peter was one at the sepulchre of Yashaya. Mary got there first, but then him and another went to see him. They found only his clothes there, but he did go to see, Yashaya at the sepulchre. Okay, so I'm going to listen to the rest of this, and then we're going to go on to the next. Okay, so here we go.
They led him away and delivered him to Pontius Pilate, the governor. Then Judas, which had betrayed him, when he saw that he was condemned...
No, that's the wrong one. Sorry. Hold on. It's supposed to be John 20. Oh, here we go.
Mary Magdalene came and told the disciples that she had seen the Lord, and that he had spoken these things unto her. Then the same day at evening, being the first day of the week, when the doors were shut where the disciples were assembled for fear of the Jews, came Jesus and stood in the midst, and saith unto them, Peace be unto you. And when he had so said, he showed unto them his hands and his side. Then were the disciples glad when they saw the Lord. Then said Jesus to them again, Peace be unto you. As my Father hath sent me, even so send I you. And when he had said this, he breathed on them, and saith unto them, Receive ye the Holy Ghost. Whosoever sins ye remit, they are remitted unto them. And whosoever sins ye retain, they are retained. But Thomas, one of the 12, called Didymus, was not with them when Jesus came. The other disciples therefore said unto him, We have seen the Lord.
Yeah, so we just went into the Doubting Thomas a couple of weeks ago.
Like day
Hold
and
on.
night.
But he said unto them, Except I shall see in his hands the print of the nails, and put my finger into the print of the nails, and thrust my hand into his side, I will not believe.
Okay, so this is just, again, reiterating how the disciples just didn't believe. Because here's Doubting Thomas. He said, unless I see him, not only unless I see him, I have to put my finger inside the wound, will I believe. He just, Christ was telling them the whole time that he was going to die and be resurrected again. But most of the time, they didn't even understand what Christ was saying to them. So here is Thomas, one of the disciples or apostles, saying, they telling him that he rose, and he just was like, no, I'm not going to believe it. I need to see it for myself. I need to touch the wounds, So again, the doubt within the disciples even. So you can imagine our people who don't have Christ walking with them like the disciples, the doubt is so huge. They can't even fathom that Christ is even going to return, let alone that he even walked the earth, But of course, those people are condemned themselves. If you don't even believe on Christ, you're condemned already. But even for those who are wavering in faith and, teeter-tottering on what they believe, the name and all kind of stuff, these are the things that, Yashaya was even dealing with in his day. Okay, so let's go. Let's finish.
And after 8 days, again his disciples were within, and Thomas with them. Then came Jesus, the doors being shut, and stood in the midst, and said, Peace be unto you. Then saith he to Thomas, Reach hither thy finger, and behold my hands, and reach hither thy hand, and thrust it into my side, and be not faithless, but believing.
So here Yashaya was giving him everything he needed, because he really, really wanted to make sure that the disciples and the apostles knew that he was risen, that he had come back, and he was the son of AHAYAH, and he was here, brought to do a mission on earth. He needed them to understand. So he came back and showed himself to Thomas and told him to stick your finger inside the wound so that you will be 100% sure. This is how much Most High, and Yashaya wanted to make sure that these men understood, what his walk was and what his mission was. Praise AHAYAH. Okay, so let's finish this.
And Thomas answered and said unto him, My Lord and my God. Jesus saith unto him, Thomas, because thou hast seen me, thou hast believed. Blessed are they that have not seen, and yet have believed.
Yes. So that's
And
like
many
for
other signs.
us. That's for us in this awakening. He's saying, blessed are those who believe and have not seen. He only believing because he actually seen it and felt it and touched it, with his own hands. How can he not believe it? But blessed are those, our people today, who are standing on Yashaya and walking out of Babylon and believing. Blessed are those people. And, they shouldn't be wavering. There's so many people that's still wavering even when they have the understanding. But they, something will happen and then they'll start doing something different. Unbelievable. Okay, I think we're at the very end.
Truly did Jesus in the presence of his disciples, which are not written in this book. But these are written, that ye might believe that Jesus is the Christ, the Son of God, and that believing ye might have life through his name. Chapter 21.
Okay, let's see. Now, so I'm going to say, guys, because it's getting pretty late. It's 3 a.m. here. I'm going to give you the next two, and I'll write these down myself, and you can write yours on your own. Praise AHAYAH Bahashim Yashaya. And then I'm going to show you who we will go into next, which book. Okay, so the next two is when Simon Peter, he momentarily, he walked on water, but after doubting, he ended up sinking. So that's Matthew 14 and 28. I'm going to write those down. But you're going to listen on your own and write your own synopsis. So it's Matthew 14 and 28. And then Acts 2 and 14. That's the last box. Acts 2, 14 through 31. That's the at Pentecost, preached, and 3,000. He brought 3,000 to faith. And that was Simon's Peter's role at the Pentecost. So you're going to read those, and then you're going to fill in those boxes. I'm going to show you so you can see it on the screen. I highlighted them. Let me let you see this, because this here, so you can see. Let me just make this big. Okay, so I put in all the boxes and I highlighted. I used a highlighter. Okay, and I have two more boxes. So this one will be Matthew 14 and 28, and this one will be Acts 2 and 14 through 21 or 31. But I'm gonna highlight this one pink. And then I will do my other page, my note page on my own, where I will each, write 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and write from 1 through 8, and just put more information about what I read. Because this is the point of writing it down, making it plain, and so that you can remember, different information about these chapters. And then you can maybe one day remember, it's John 20 and 4. You can remember certain things. I'm not great at remembering my books and verses and chapters. So that's why this is really good for me, so that I can try to remember. So also you want to, on the back, you're going to write the observations. What did you observe about, Peter in these scriptures? Like what I was pointing out, what I was bringing out, some of that information you can write in your observation. Also application. How can you apply this to your life? What, things that happen to you that, you kind of can say, you had a pivotal point, making certain decisions, Christ-like decisions, or did you do certain things like some of the apostles did? You want to start to bring this closer to something that you can relate to your life, so that now you can start purging. Because the scripture says, and I think this is in 1 Timothy. Let me check, because I wrote that down in one of my, let me look in here. Scriptures to remember. Okay, guys? I write down these scriptures so that I can remember. And let me see, where is it? Is this here? Yeah, look, I'll show you. It's in 1 Timothy, or is it 2 Timothy? No, I'll find it. Hold on. 2 Timothy. Unfortunately, I can't see it. Scriptures to remember. Now, look, I'll show you that so you can see. I made this little part of the book with pages. I put the Lord's Prayer on the front. Inside, just different scriptures. I put some tabs and little things to keep it interesting. But here, I put, it's a journal part. And these are my scriptures that I want to remember. These are things that, so I haven't remembered them, obviously. But, I can go to it fast and try to point it out so I could give you the scriptures if I'm talking about it. Yeah, so it's 2 Timothy 2:21. It says, if a man purges himself, he could be counted unto righteousness. The whole point is for us to start to purge, to become this new creature in Christ, as we just finished the Passover and we are becoming a new lump, and throwing out the old leaven. Each year we should be shedding part of our character that's not pleasing in the sight of the Most High. Every year, as we draw near to Christ's coming, we should be working on ourselves, becoming better, sisters and brothers, and trying to purge out the old leaven. That's the whole point. And so there is a reason for doing this. It's not just to read the scriptures and just read it and just be able to quote some scriptures. That's not the point. The point is to read these scriptures, retain the information, remember the information, and be able to apply it to your life. Change. It's all about change, brothers and sisters. That's the point of us doing Bible study and journaling, so that we can apply these scriptures to our everyday life. So when you go into these scriptures, are you like the doubting Thomas that's spoken of in this scripture? With Peter, when you get the opportunity, if somebody asks you, are you Christian? Are you for Christ? Are you going to deny Christ? Are you going to say, no, I'm not? Are you going to change your faith and become a Muslim? Are you going to change and become, a Buddhist, after getting this information and, a few things don't go your way? Are you going to deny Christ? So what are your attributes, and how do you respond to certain situations? This is what this is all about. So here, when you see application, you're going to make even if you have a plain page, you have one side's observation. These are all the things that you observing, like how I'm pointing out right now about, doubting Thomas and, Peter denying him, and, at the transfiguration, him trying to lump Moses and Elijah and Christ all together. And AHAYAH had to intercede and be like, no, this is my son whom I'm well pleased. He'd make a clear distinction between the other prophets and Yashaya. So, you want to apply these things to your life. And then on here is the verse of today. Out of all the verses, what stuck out to you the most? And you write that verse down and why, and maybe that'll help you remember that scripture. Okay. And you can write your prayer or your praise up to the Most High, something that you will, want to, glorify Yashaya and Christ in, as you read in these scriptures, because there was a lot, and a lot of it is pertaining to Christ and his death and his resurrection. So, this is, how you have to do. Like I've told you, I have a lot. I have to go back and finish because it's going so fast. I haven't even been able to complete like this one for, who is this? Let me show you this. This is Apostle Thomas. Yeah, we just did that a couple of weeks ago. So I have to finish these pages because I don't have time. I'm running out of time. But got to try to finish these. So I got maybe like 3 or 4 that I haven't been able to finish. And then here again, I'm not finishing. So, you don't want to do like me. Try to finish. Write your notes, your applications, and your observations, your verse of the day, and your prayers. Make a slot for that for yourself. And we'll keep going. So quickly, let's pick the next one. Here's the prophets, and we'll determine what book we'll be going in next week. Okay. And also, brothers and sisters, I hope you can join me for the I'm doing the ancient Phoenician Hebrew on Mondays. I started this week, and I'm also looking for Sister Aqua Rebecca. If you listen to this, can you reach out to me? Okay, but I'm gonna pick one. So next week we're gonna go into John. Okay, so we're gonna go into the prophet John next week, and just pull out some of the attributes of John, and what he stood for with Christ, just like how we went into today. Who was that? Simon Peter. Okay, so next week we're going into John. Praise AHAYAH by Hashem Yashaya. So I'm going to pull this one out, and I'm going to stick it in here because, I'm not really home, brothers and sisters. So I don't have all my, my craft things. So I wasn't able to stick this one in. And then I'm going to make a page for John. And hopefully by the time next week, I've done the attributes of Simon Peter, and this will be completed, and I'll be prepared for John. But I'm getting overwhelmed. I have a lot to do, guys. So I have to play catch up now. Okay, so I give all glory, praise, and honor to AHAYAH, Asher AHAYAH, Bahashim Yashaya, Qadash, Rawach. It's always a pleasure to do this. And I know a lot of you, looking to go into other books, some of the, like the pseudepigrapha, Yashaya. We're going to go into all of that because I don't plan AHAYAH'S will. I can keep, this going for as long as possible. I really enjoy doing this. And even though it's on a, small level, but it's still, there's a lot of edification and reflecting on how we can respond and, putting ourselves in these situations and what choices we would make. And prayerfully, it would be the right choice. We're moving closer to Yashaya, learning more about Yashaya and AHAYAH and, the attributes that the Most High will want us to keep. Hey, Shalom, sister, pretty lady. Yes, can you do all things through Yashaya Christ to strengthen you? Yes, praise AHAYAH. Just thank you for that affirmation. I appreciate it and I receive it. Praise AHAYAH. So I was meant to email you today, sister, pretty lady, about the class on yesterday. I know it was like, on Mondays it will be always like this the same time as the classes, like 9:30. So I sent you. So do you want to make up for yesterday? And like praise AHAYAH. Do you want to make up for it? Maybe tomorrow. Well, I'm gonna be traveling tomorrow. So maybe on Thursday before Nappy Hair Chronicles, maybe an hour or two before. So I usually have Nappy Hair Chronicle 9:30 my time. So that may be maybe 2:30 your time. Can you do like say 12:30 on Thursday in like an afternoon. Are you available? Let me know. Okay. So Thursday we'll make up for Monday. Okay. And okay, just I'll send you the email. I try to send it earlier, but just know now with this time will be set. I usually do all the classes around 9:30 my time, PM. So that way it's always around 2:30, Eastern Standard Time. Okay, so on Thursday we'll have the class, the ancient Phoenician, and anyone else who's looking to learn the ancient Phoenician Hebrew, conversation step by step. We're starting a class. You can please join us. Go to my website, Hebrewism.com. I am Hebrew 123, and you can just sign up there. Let me give you the link. If you're interested in learning the ancient Phoenician Hebrew, conversational to be able to learn and talk it and speak it. It's a beginner's class, so don't worry. It's not going to be too hard and too much too soon. Also, pretty lady, I need you to send back the syllabus. Because I think we did speak about it. You're gonna go with Rebecca, yeah? Okay, hold on for the your Hebrew name. So give me 1 second. Let me just put this link in before I forget. But it's good to see you, sis. I'm glad you're here. And Yada Ahaya. Hold on. Okay, I'm going to post this in. If anyone else wants to join the Ancient Phoenician Hebrew class, this is the link. You can go and register, and I'll send you all the information that you need. Praise Ahaya Bahashim Yashaya. Okay, so that's it for Ahaya's Bible Book and Journaling Club for this evening. We'll be back next Tuesday, same time, and we will be going into John, the book of John, and pulling out some of the verses and chapters in John and going over his attributes of John and how his significance to Christ and things like that. Okay, so I give all glory, praise, and honor to Ahaya, Asher Ahaya, Bahashim Yashaya, Qadash, Rawach. I pray you are coming out of Babylon. I'm going to really be going into it on this week's Nappy Hair Chronicles. There's a lot going on. I wanted to talk about Kanye West. He had this interview. We're going to go into this interview. I thought it was very significant. He's really ruffling a lot of feathers. And, we got to pray for these brothers and sisters in this awakening, with these big platforms, because, they're trying to stop them from speaking, speaking out. And that spirit of Christ is on these men to talk and speak. And there's some interesting things that happened to me as well. And I'll go into that this week in Nappy Hair Chronicles, Thursday, 9:30 p.m. Jordan time, and that's about 2:30 your time in Eastern Standard Time. So, okay, guys, I give all glory, honor, and praise. Have a blessed week. Be safe, and I pray you're getting out of Babylon. Get out, get out, get out. Jordan is the safe place. Ahaya said he'll protect those found within his borders. Praise Ahaya. Shalom. I'm going to play a little music on the way out. Just some calm, soothing music. Okay. Enjoy, guys. Bless you. Hold on. Let's see where we are. Here we go.
feel that way coming. today. Purchase your tracks today.
My skin is black. My body is burned. I survived Babylon.